What's going to happen if before the next presidential election the interest rates go down? What's going to happen to home values? All right, welcome guys. This is Samantha Zumwalt with Vantage Funding.
Hi everybody.
To give you a little background on Samantha, she is top 1% LO or loan officer, as we would call it. And the question I have is, how many loans does a good LO do a year on average?
I would say a good LO on average is going to do in the market for the last 3 years probably between 60 to 85.
60 to 85?
60 to 85 transactions, correct.
Okay. And then what about you? What are you doing?
I have been doing on average at around 250, 280
Holy
a year.
smokes.
Yeah.
Massive difference.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to dive into how Samantha, or Sam as we call her, is able to do so many transactions, how she's able to balance, personal life and kids and all that stuff with business. We're going to talk about efficiency, we're going to talk about money, we're going to cover a lot of subjects, I think.
Yeah.
So first of all, you have exciting news.
Yes, I just made a change from a former company to a new little broker boutique branch that I'm going to be running myself and my team up here in the high desert, Vantage Funding. So that's pretty new and exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what new products we can offer and what we can do with helping more people get into homes.
Right on. And, anytime you do anything new, it's always kind of scary.
Yes.
So I'm curious, maybe somebody watching this is about to make a transition in their life, or maybe they just made a major transition.
Right.
What advice would you give, or how are you managing this transition?
It is very stressful and scary, and you don't want to, hurt anybody's feelings in making a decision for yourself. But the number one thing you have to remember is you are just the CEO of yourself and your business. And if everything aligns and you need to make that change because you know that you're going to be able to do a better service for your referral partners, your clients, your agents, whatever you're doing in this business, take the chance, because the only thing we can take a chance on is ourselves. So if we fail, we are failing ourselves. And most high producing people, or anybody that's successful, knows you have to take big risks to get to that next level.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And so let me ask you this, because a lot of agents that I counsel, they wait for the perfect timing to do something.
Yeah.
Is there ever a perfect time?
I don't think so. There's not, because you could just keep waiting and not doing it. It's like pushing it off. You kind of have to pull the Band-Aid and just go. Just do it. Because if it doesn't work out, there's always other options. You're just failing forward, but that also builds success as well.
Yeah, so you did your homework and then you made a decision.
I did. I did my homework, came up with my idea. It's probably been about 6 months that I've been working on this, and then it kind of all came together in a way that it didn't feel pushed or not valuable or like I was making a big mistake. And that's the thing. I don't want to have any regrets of not making a move, but I don't want to have regrets of making a move also.
Yeah. Well, there's always potential for regrets. I think in life, all we can do is just act with the best intentions that we have with the information we have at this time.
Exactly.
And that's about it. So I'm super excited about Vantage Funding.
Me too.
And I know you're going to be very successful. You always are. And something that when I left my previous brokerage was that my success was based off of the brand that I was associated with. And I actually think that there was maybe some truth to that in the 80s and 90s, just because major corporations like the brokerage that I used to work for, which is one of, if not the top brands in the entire nation, I think that when they controlled the media, meaning there was no social media,
yes,
there's no internet.
Nope, just TV commercials.
TV ads and billboards, and little agents like me didn't have the resources to be able to advertise, so you kind of had to rely on the big brand.
Yep.
But how has social media changed everything, whether you're an LO or you're a real estate agent? How do you think it's changed everything as far as we are now our own brand?
Right. So what I think is because it's a direct-to-consumer base of advertising. We are able to control the content that we're putting out there about the products that we offer, no matter what it is. So it's not necessarily which office or which brand you're with. We're selling ourselves and our service. And then our followers or repeat clients and everybody like that are sharing ourselves as well. So that taking that and making sure that you're using that vessel of information to get out to the consumer is the most important thing. But it's really just branding ourselves, no matter where you are. Because you could actually turn somebody else's brand around that might be actually, doesn't have really a good name. But if you're a great loan officer or a real estate agent and you went in there and took control over it, you could actually help bring that brand up.
Absolutely. And let me say this too, because I always want to share what I think is the truth, is that there is definitely value in brands. So we're not discounting that in any way, right?
Correct.
So if you're with a company that has a great reputation, that does bring value to you, whether you're the LO or the real estate office. But what we're trying to say is that times have changed and you are your own brand. Now that, like Sam said, you can go directly to the consumer. They can get a relationship with you. It's no longer go to the corporate website. And there's Sam with her professional photo. Now I get to see you on social media, besides the fact that we're neighbors and friends, but I get to see you on social media, and I get to see your daughter and your sons and your activities, and you're in South Dakota, and I get to know you.
Correct. And that's that engages our clients. They like that.
That's the value. Mm-hmm. That's the value. So since we're talking about social media and it is such a valuable resource that costs nothing, if I'm an LO, let's say, Sam, and whether I'm a new LO or maybe I'm doing 30, 40 loans a year, how can a LO better utilize social media? Do you have any sort of, so I guess what I'm asking, do you have any sort of intention? Are you posting a certain amount of days, or is yours just kind of a free-flowing, how do you handle your business on social media?
I like to post something inspirational every morning. So it's just consistent that I'm jumping on everybody's feed that's engaging. Plus, it's also a way for me to, I always say, kick my own butt to start the day too. It's really more for me, but everybody likes it. I like to do that. And then throughout the day, bring in content and then a lot of reels and stories. Depending on my workflow, it is kind of hard to get it dialed in on how much you should spend. But I at least think that you need to post 2 to 3 things a day. Even if it's a personal thing, a work thing, relative to the market update, something like that. Your engagement you need even on the weekends, just so you're top of mind. Yeah. Because if you're not posting, it goes to the bottom of everybody's feed.
That's all it is, right? Mm-hmm. So I just spoke at Ford, and I was talking to the salesman there, and I said, listen, your intention should be omnipresence. And this is what I told him. I said, you're thinking about me right now. I'm right here in your consciousness.
Yes.
I said, an hour from now I'm here, a day from now I'm here, and a week from now I don't even exist.
Exactly.
So that's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, remember, I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. If you have questions, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is Grant Cardone, many years ago, was posting 1 time a day, and he got so much heat on it. People would hate on him. I'd read the comments. They're like, posting every day. Gosh, you're crazy. That's too much. You're overdoing it.
Oh my gosh, no way. That seriously happened?
Oh, seriously, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so Grant Cardone is pushed forward, and now has over $1 billion plus. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's funny how we hear something from the professionals,
right.
These people that aren't actually in the trenches or in the business how Correct. You and I are.
Right.
But for us that are doing it, we know that the consistency is important. Now, let me ask you this. With social media, do you think that people should focus on getting the most amount of viewers or the most amount of likes? And this is why I ask, because a lot of times when I counsel agents and I ask them, what is your goal with social media? They say, well, I want to get more followers and I want to get more views. And I say, okay, so is your objective to become famous? Because if that's your objective, then yes, that's what you should be doing. But for me, as a real estate agent, let's say, my goal should be able to interact with as many people in my local market so they transact with me.
Right.
And as a broker, my social media is solely designed around giving a glimpse behind the curtain to other agents that are not in my brokerage, so they can see what my brokerage has to offer, see the benefits, and then they can decide, hey, I like Derek, I like his company, or no, I don't.
Right.
Is that how you manage your social media, or are you trying to become like blue check mark?
No, I wouldn't say I want to be blue checkmark. I want to just show everybody what I have to offer. So then they remind their clients or agents or whatever to refer me to help with their mortgage needs. That's the most important thing, I think, for my business. I mean, you could, if you want a blue checkmark, you're going to have a lot of followers that don't even ever, even engage in your business.
Yeah, you can't even really help them.
No.
Unless if you created, because obviously I have thought about this, is change my focus to actually growing.
Right.
And then providing products to real estate agents to be able to sell them, whether it's training or coaching or whatever. But
Right.
but if that's not your goal, because a lot of agents will beat up on this house. Well, gosh, I've only got 300 followers. I've only got 3,000 followers, and I have to remind them, what is the goal of your social media?
Yeah.
And then once we break it down, they go, you know what? I don't feel like such a big failure.
No, because if those 300 people are engaged in the product that you're pushing out there or the information, that's better than having 20,000 followers that don't even click on your story or look on anything. What I think, quality over quantity.
For sure. And it's like this is a question I'll ask an agent. Would you rather have 40,000 followers and make 50,000 a year, or would you rather have 3,000 followers and make $2+ million a year?
Yeah, that's bottom line for sure.
What's your priority?
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Another question for you. A lot of people don't think about this, but who, as an LO, who are your customers?
As a loan officer, to me, of course, my customers are my borrowers, but a major component of my customers is my referral partners and my agents. The attorneys I work with for referrals, my real estate agents, any professional person that helps, divert business my way. There's a couple different funnels that I have to focus on building on my business to make sure I have solid relationships with them, not just with my clients themselves or past clients. I also need to be involved in the real estate community, professional networks and things like that to make sure my business is going forward, which I do think is the same for real estate agents as well.
100%, yeah, because as a real estate agent, yeah, I'm looking for buyers and sellers to transact with me, but if I have a referral with Sam and Sam has a buyer contact her directly, there's a chance she might connect that borrower with me.
Yeah.
And if same thing, whether it's a title company or attorney and all that stuff, and I feel like a lot of LOs, I feel like they all know that, but if we were to open up their schedule for last week and look at how many times consciously they contacted agents or went to events to connect with,
Yes.
as you call them, referral partners, I bet you there's a big gap in it.
Oh, absolutely. And then they wonder why their business is like this versus this. Because it's time. It's lots of time. So even when there's time that I can't be exactly working on my pre-approvals, at least I have my team touching all the clients while I'm out doing the actual networking within the referral partners that I get business from. So then at the end of the day, I go back and then I start running my approvals. I mean, obviously it's a well-oiled machine and it's a lot of hours too to be able to do that many loans also.
Yeah, and you mentioned your machine. So is it you just, are you doing all these things with your referral partners, and are you taking applications, or do you have an actual powerful team behind you assisting you and your borrowers?
I have a powerful team behind me that helps so we make sure that client's getting touched and that agent and those deals get touched automatically as soon as we get them in the door. Make sure we are hitting all of our contingency periods. Andy helps me follow up with the borrowers for their needs items. I actually run the numbers because I'm the loan officer, so I'm the head of the team. I need to be responsible for that part. And then everybody has their spot. So once Andy's done with it, the file goes to the processor, she takes it to closing, so it's like playing football. You're handing off until you get to the end.
And you're just managing the whole thing. You're you're there if they need assistance. And, it's funny because as agents come over to my brokerage from different brokers, this has happened to me a few times now where I've had producing agents come over and their previous broker told them, you don't need an assistant, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. And I've sat down with them and built up a game plan for them through a success session. They end up hiring an assistant and having their business explode.
Yeah. That is a huge thing. It's scary to take on an assistant because you're thinking, I'm only making this much money to feed my family. How am I going to take on taking care of another person?
Oh, yeah.
But time is money, so you got to work smarter than harder. And the thing is once you can start tasking what needs to be done that's not worth our time. I don't need to call about that updated pay stub again for the 15th time when I should be talking to another borrower, talking to another agent. So compartmentalizing that and wrapping your mind around taking that risk there's not any time I've ever seen anybody go from getting an assistant to never have an assistant ever again. Like once I made that move in 2014, I don't know how I wouldn't be able to run this much volume without an assistant. You have to have that extra person. So that no matter what, if there is a fire and you're not available, somebody is at least putting water on those flames for you until you can jump back in there. It's very important. I think that's a huge thing.
In the last 30 days, I've purchased 5 homes directly from sellers. This is where the seller doesn't pay any commission. They don't make
any improvements, no repairs, no appraisal, no investigation. The seller gets to choose the close date as soon as they want or as delayed as they want, so on and so forth. So this has been highly, highly successful endeavor. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I just haven't been telling people, so now I'm just sharing it. If you're thinking about selling and you say, you know, Derek, I just want to sell directly to someone cash. I don't want it to go on the market. I don't want the neighbors to see it. I don't want the whole world to see the inside of my house. Or hey, you know, I just want to see what you will offer me. Reach out to me. It costs you nothing to find out. I can run an analysis if you want, and I can tell you, hey, if you list it, this is how much money you'll put in your pocket, right? That's what matters most to you. Or hey, if I buy it, this is how much money I can put in your pocket. And in most cases, I'm very competitive. Not in every case. Sometimes you'll make more money listing it, but sometimes I can pay you a very competitive price and it makes sense. So anyways, if you're thinking about selling, reach out to me. It doesn't cost you anything.
And so let me ask you this. Do you think that a real estate agent or an LO should hire an assistant from day one, or do you think that they should actually work on themselves and build their business to a certain level?
Yes. You can't lead your team until you know how to lead yourself.
Bingo.
And that's the number one thing. So once you're there and you're like, I'm at capacity, I could take one more loan, but I don't think I have the time, but you're executing so well that your volume's getting there, get the assistant, and it's only going to go up from there. But,
Yeah.
but you have to lead yourself first.
Yeah, and an assistant is not there to make your business profitable or successful. I look at them as though they're fuel, right? And they could be an 87 octane or they could be rocket fuel. It depends on the
Yes.
assistant.
Yes.
But it's like, first, get the engine going.
Yes.
Build your business. Agents will ask me for advice, obviously.
Yes.
And they only ask me if they want the truth because they know I will be sometimes blunt, but always try to be considerate. But I've had agents come to me and say, I think I want to launch my own team. And some of the agents, I tell them, say, listen, you haven't even built a business yet. If you hire agents to work under you, you don't even really know what to do. You don't even have a track record of success. How
and
can
you
you
have
guide
to be
them?
the leader of the team. Like you don't want to go into battle with someone that you know is not going to be able to save your life.
I
You
love
cannot
that.
do that. You can't. You have to lead yourself first, no matter what.
That's a great analogy. Would you go into war with a general that says, hey, I've never been in war, but follow me?
Guess what? I heard this idea works out all the time. You make all this money. Just jump. Come on, let's try it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
like you have to put in the work, and I think a lot of it is LOs or real estate agents or people in general. They want a shortcut.
They do, but there is no shortcut in this business. You're gonna find ways to screw up. You're gonna learn from that. The more you screw up, the better you get, because you know never to do that again or never get into that deal. Or if you see those people that are kind of like red flags, run. Don't waste your time on them. It's okay if you feel like this person and I are just we're not going to make it to the finish line. Hire and fire accordingly on your business, because you don't want to waste that time where it could have been spent on somebody that deserves it. So that's very important to also keep in mind when you're looking at that. But you got to earn your stripes.
For sure. You mentioned a phrase called failing forward. What does failing forward mean?
Taking risks, even though you know that there's a chance it may not work out, but it may absolutely work out even better. And, the more we fail, the closer we get to greatness.
Yeah. You do definitely have to have some successes in there.
Yes.
If you always fail, you're not getting closer to greatness.
You're not here, for sure. Yes. It's like take one for the team and then you get a win.
Yeah. And I think growth is a big thing. Agents, they come to work for me because they want to grow.
Yeah.
And the thing that I ask them, I say, okay, you want to grow. That's great. I will help you grow. Are you going to embrace the pain of growth? Because whether you're trying to build muscle, or if you're trying to improve your marriage or your relationship or trying to grow your business, there is no growth without pain, challenge, resistance.
Right.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it now.
Yeah. You're living it.
No, I'm living it. I'm personally living it. It's fine. And I just know that you got to be optimistic and look at that. There is the better side once you get over it. You just got to go through it.
Yeah, and so I'll ask people, if you were going to design the perfect soldier, would you put that soldier in an environment where it's never dangerous? Everything goes exactly how they want it to, and everything comes easy to them. No, you would put a soldier in very tough testing grounds that challenges them but does not kill them, so that they can build the mental and physical fortitude to be able to get stronger. And that's the way that I've looked at my businesses. Every single time I've tried and failed, the big question I ask myself is, Derek, are you better because of this failure? Or what can you learn from this failure? Right. Because I feel like if you're failing and you're not learning, you're really not growing. You're just failing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Then you might as well pick something else to do. because something's not working out. 'Cause every time you fail, the lesson there is the secret to the success, is what I think.
Gotcha. And so let's talk about failure a little bit, because right now in this real estate market, September 2023, there's a lot of LOs and there's a lot of real estate agents that are falling out of the business.
They are. Yeah.
And so maybe somebody's watching this and they're going, gosh, Sam, should I quit or should I keep going? What would your answer be to that general question, or would you need more information?
Well, I think I would need more information as how long they've been in the business, why are they failing, how much time are they investing in their business? Because I think so many times people think that they're doing everything, but when you sit down and you write down what your daily activities are and what you haven't done, I mean, you got to give it 255%. If it's not working after that, then maybe you should readjust or think of a different thing to do, because obviously something's wrong. But no matter what, even in a down market, a high market, a low market, a bad market, there's people that need houses. There's people that need to sell their land. There's people that need to do things. But right now we're just having to work harder. We have to touch more people. We got to find the leads. And if you can devote your time to that, but if you're not ready to do that and you're only giving your business 20%, then you probably should get out, because it's probably going to get a little harder before it gets better. But that's going to teach you, once we get that opportunity, when the rates drop and everything starts to open up, to grab it all. Like, we have to feel the hurt right now to get to the other side.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the top producers like you embrace the struggle because you know it's going to shake out a lot of people that shouldn't be LOs.
Absolutely. And a lot of people that shouldn't be real estate agents. You know, there's a lot of people that just thought that this last 3-year boom was just everybody can sell real estate, everybody can do loans, everybody can make money. Well, as soon as that faucet turns off and you don't have established business or referral partners or like working on your CRM or getting out there with the people, you're not going to get the leads. There's no leads to really be bought. They're all bought up. You've got to put in that 250% right now. And if you don't have the mental fortitude to do it or the time, then you're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, and so this is the question I ask real estate agents when they're complaining about the market being down is, did you get in this business, a sales business, only for the upside? Because if that's the case, you're going to do about 5 years, then you're going to take 2-3 years off, then you're going to do about 5 years.
Yeah.
You're never going to have consistency. Guess what? The benefits of being an LO or a real estate agent and the massive upside of income and freedom and all the other things that come with it, they also only come with the fact that there's cycles. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to get in on only the good, get real.
Yeah.
I would say if you're here only for the good times, go ahead and get out now.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I mean, unfortunately, it sounds like harsh, but it's true. Because if you're not doing the deals, you're not sharpening your tool and you're not doing a good service for your clients. Because the less files and people we touch, the more out of touch you become from the job. Meaning you could be giving bad advice because you're not in it and you don't even know what changes have happened, like with CAR or with us, with NMLS, any of that stuff. For the CFPB, we have new regulations all the time. But if you're not actively working in the business, you shouldn't be in the business.
Yeah, funny you say that, because at least one of my competitors, or maybe multiple competitors, will try to attack me and say, well, don't go work for Derek. He still sells real estate. And my agents, which fight for me and stand up for me, which is so great, they'll say, yeah, he still sells. That's why he knows how to help us.
Yes. You don't want to have somebody giving you you don't want to go to a gym and have a not in shape trainer.
Exactly.
Like, that's not going to work for me.
Or one that has,
I want to see somebody that can write a contract, take a loan application, you and I can sit down and do it together. Then I have faith that my leader is leading me the right way.
Yeah, it's like, so this is the way I think about it. If I was going to become an LO, let's see, I can go work for Joe, Harry, blah, 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 whoever it is that's never done a high volume of loans. Or I can go work for Samantha, who has proven history, like was it 13 years or something like that, of the top 1% of production, and I can shortcut all of the stupid mistakes that I would make, all of the things that I would do to waste my time, and instead I can be led by a leader that actually knows how to lead me.
Yes.
It's like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
But I'm still blown away when people will go and choose to work for a broker that has never sold real estate at a high volume, and then they wonder why their business is stagnant, and they wonder why when they go to their broker and they're like, well, how come I'm not getting the results, or how can I get the results? And the broker gives them advice from 1990, and they wonder why they're not growing.
Yeah, it's true.
Because that's what happens is agents come over to the brokerage and they're like, oh my gosh, the knowledge that's here is propelling my business in combination with the culture. So it's like, get with a leader that has had massive success. I don't mean a little bit. Like Vantage Funding, I wouldn't want to go work for Vantage Funding if you've done 10 loans a year for the last 10 years.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
It's like, get connected with the best. And in hindsight, honestly, because agents will ask me this, Derek, if you got in the business today, what would you do? And I tell them the first thing I would do is say, to hell with the cut. I would not give a shit about how much money I'm going to make on every deal. I would say, let me get around the most successful people, the people that have done a high volume of business, have consistency and integrity in the business, because I'm going to learn so much from them just being around them. Like, I'll bet you that if I went to your office, Sam, and I sat there for a week, I would learn so much information.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Things that you do unconsciously.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And that's the thing. Iron sharpens iron. I always follow everybody that is 500 times better than me. Because if there's just one little thing, one little post, one little thing that they do, it helps me say, oh, that's a great idea. That's perfect. Don't think that you're so big that you aren't going to learn and like nobody else is going to teach you something new. Because we should learn something new every day. And that's very important. And share the information with everybody. Don't hold it, close to your vest because you think, oh, they're going to steal all my ideas and beat me. No, they're not. They're just teaching you. And if you absorb any of that information, none of us can duplicate you or me. But if they could take just 15 to 25% of that might help them just get like a further up the ladder.
Totally agree. So there's two extremes of people. When we talk about reaching out to others, it seems like there's the people that go to every conference and bounce offices and never really apply it. They're always kind of looking for the magic bullet and they never have any real success, but they're always asking other people for opinions. And then there's the other person, which is more naturally where I lean to, which is, I'm just going to do the work. I'm not going to really ask other people, and it's really hurt me in business. If I could control myself, which obviously I can, but then I'm working on this, and even continually, like I'm going to the upcoming Ryan Pineda WealthCon in Vegas. It's like, get the information that you get, listen to a podcast, go to a conference, but listen, do something with the information.
Yes, there are two. I see that all the time. I have lots of agents that literally do very small business, and they're good, but they focus more on the social aspect of all of those things, where it's like, okay, but when are you going to apply them? When are you going to actually do that? I just still don't see you posting on social media, or I don't see you going out and doing the community events or doing the farming and stuff like that. It's like, I had a biology teacher that every single day would write out our outline of what we were going to get to. We never ever got to anything. We never learned anything. I was like, when are we actually going to actually get into the material? Like, we never did. It was mind-blowing. But people operate that way. They're thinking about how they're going to get there, but you have to actually get there by doing the work.
Yep, totally. So check this out. So this past weekend, I'm on my Peloton, being a good boy, pedaling away, right? And I listened to a podcast, and I automatically started another podcast, and I stopped, and I turned it off. And this is what I said out loud. I said, Derek, what lessons did you just learn from the podcast you just watched? How are you going to apply that? And I built a semi-business plan based off of that, because even I find myself consuming content, and I lie to myself, or maybe I mislead myself to think that this is going to make me a better salesman or a better business owner, but really it's entertainment. You know what I mean? I'm just entertaining myself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm just entertaining. Yeah. So I think it's important that real estate agents and LOs, you can be honest with yourself. Are you watching something for entertainment? If you are, that's great. We all need entertainment. We all need to unplug. We all need that. But if you're looking to grow your business and you're obsessed about that and you really want to grow, you have to apply it. You have to actually take the information and go, how can I become better? Or what did I like about what Sam said? What did I not like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should digest.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that 100%. Definitely.
You know what's interesting too is I found that there's a wealth of knowledge from people even outside of our little business. So for example, I'm a real estate broker, right? Mm-hmm. I learn from you all the time. You probably don't even know, but I'm watching you and I'm learning. But it's so true, because this is what I've realized is that successful people, no matter what industry or business they are in, their characteristics and traits translate to any business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. I
It's
think
like,
so.
it's like if I took your license away, let's just say, this isn't going to happen, we're knock on
Yeah.
wood, but let's just say that I took your license away. I guarantee everybody that you would find massive success in whatever industry you went into. If you became a real estate agent, I have no doubt that you would be a freaking kick-ass, badass real estate agent or whatever else.
Right.
Do you think that that's true? Like, they translate?
Yes. If you just have to put effort into whatever you choose. So if you have that effort, even if you had to change lanes, you're going to give it the same effort. You just don't give up. You keep going forward. And that's the number one thing. Show up every day for yourself, for your family, for your business.
Yeah, so
Every day.
the lesson is don't try to get to the next paycheck. Instead, try to become a person that has the characteristics of a successful person, which is being consistent, being persistent, having ethics, doing the work, as you keep on saying. Hopefully people are picking up on that.
Yeah.
Doing the work. Do the work.
Yeah.
Worry about perfecting it later. A lot of real estate agents throughout my 18 years I've seen is they strive for perfection and it prevents them from executing.
Yeah, I call it bear hugging the file. So you get one
Ooh.
transaction. You're just holding on to that. It's like, well, you need to pass it off to your TC and you need to find another buyer or another listing so that you're building a pipeline that keeps going forward. Just don't hug that one deal, because like right now you should be planning on your deals that you're going to get in November, December, and January. What does next year look like? You have to look out and plan accordingly. Think about what events you're going to do. Think about how many people you're going to touch. What are you going to do for your Christmas cards? What holiday events are you going to show up for? What kind of community outreach are you going to do? You have to look forward. You can't just hold that one file, that one deal, because you will never get past it.
Bear hugging the file. You heard it here.
Yeah. Bear hugging the file.
Don't bear hug the file. You know, it's funny. Do LOs have the same big financial swings like real estate agents do, or they have a great month and then no? Do they go through that
Yeah,
too?
consistency is definitely a big issue in our business. I see it all the time where a loan officer will, especially like the newer ones, because sometimes we always have these seasons of buyers. Sometimes we have the most amazing buyers, and then sometimes every couple months we only have tragic, dramatic, time-sucking, bad choices, fixing the file. Like, it's nothing that's ever perfect. So they'll get stuck with like 5 deals that are sucking their time away, and they weren't getting any deals and working on their pre-approvals or doing their other activities that they needed to do. No matter what, sometimes you have to. Like, if I have a file that's on fire, I'm going to address it, I'm going to put it over here, and then I'm going to call those 2 leads that my agents just asked me to. That helps me make sure that I'm, first of all, not just getting consumed with this problem, which can make you anxious and then you think the world's ending. Takes my mind off it. By the time I'm done talking with those borrowers, then I'm like, you know what we could do? Why don't we just try this? It also helps me fix something too when you walk away from it for a second. So I think that I know how to do that, but I think other loan officers get stuck to where they're just like, oh my gosh, I can't even think about doing a pre-approval. I'm so overwhelmed. Well, that's why you don't have deals closing. You have to, it's constant touching of people, even in your guys' business. You got to call them all. You got to stay on top of it all.
What I'm hearing from you is that people need to know the difference between what's urgent and what's important.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Because that's what happens even with real estate agents is I get an escrow or 2 or 3 or whatever it is, and then I'm all focused on those escrows, and I stop prospecting, I stop calling people,
Yeah.
I stop the whole lead gen side to get these to close. Then it closes and they have a big month. They go, gosh, this is great. I made $20,000 this month. And then they look behind them at their pipeline and they go, there ain't nobody else in line.
I know.
Now
Yeah.
I've got no paychecks coming for probably 2 to 3 months.
Yes, yeah, because how long it takes to get them into escrow and then get through the escrow. God forbid there's no problems. Yeah, so you have to just keep touching everybody at the same time, which can be overwhelming, but that's the only way to keep your business consistent.
Yeah, what happened to me was, got in the business, and obviously it was tough. Not going to go into all that, but I set a goal to make $10,000 a month, and when the commissions were $1,000,
Yeah.
to make $10,000 was a lot in 2009 in our area. But anyways, I made $10,000 in a month, and I'm like, great, celebrating. And then I made no money for a month or 2, and then I had a decent month. And I remember analyzing it, going, okay, Derek, is this just the way that it is, or do I have some sort of control over this? Mm-hmm. And so, the way that I designed my business to have very consistent income, I mean, almost guaranteed every single month making large amounts of money is I stay dedicated to time blocking time for prospecting. Is that, how do you or how should the viewer, if they're scheduling their week, do you have any sort of idea of percentage wise on this much time on nurturing clients, this much time on getting new clients, this much time on working on your current files? How does that look like in your business?
So for me, because it's a little bit different, because a lot of, from our point of sale on my side, I have to make sure that I'm nurturing my agents and I'm top of mind for them. So I have to plan my week out on what events, what office meetings, where am I going to be? I haven't heard from so-and-so, I better set up a coffee or a lunch, just checking in on them. I have, the number one thing is my CRM. So for top of mind, I have it set up also for my agents, but also for my buyers and my current buyers and then my past clients. So that's auto generated to make sure. And then as soon as I get those dings or alerts that so-and-so wants to chat and this, then I go ahead and I have the team schedule the call, get on the phone with the people to make sure that I'm touching everybody as fast as I can. Because it's always, no matter what, speed to lead. I mean, there's no way around that.
So if I was going to put you on the spot and say, Sam, I want you to break up your average week into two categories. One is working on current files and one is working on potential new business, whether that's referral partners or
right.
What percentage goes into current files and what percentage goes into the other?
Well, personally for me, current files is probably only going to be 30% because the team has those files, those transactions.
Because it's not you alone doing it.
Yes, exactly. So that the team has taken them over. Once we're to contract, I've disclosed, the team gets to take it from there. Then they take it to closing. I'm there to obviously answer questions or if anybody needs me. 70% is reaching my referral partners and looking for new business and coming up with my marketing ideas or what I'm going to work on or what crazy scheme I could come up with on the internet or whatever, you know what I mean? So I would say 70-30 for me because I have a team. But I would definitely say for anybody else, it should be a 50-50. What do you say?
Well, so I think it depends on what level you're at. If you're a new agent and you don't have any business, obviously, or any escrows, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that starts to tier. I think the other thing is having an assistant. So, for example, if anybody's ever transacted with me, they know that once I have a contract, whether it's a listing or an escrow, you're going to hear from Holly 8 out of 10 times, who's my assistant.
Yeah.
She's very skilled, very knowledgeable, and you're going to hear from me when something's either really bad
yes.
or I need a problem solved.
Yes.
You know, that's how I've designed my business, and that's how I was able to sell over 100 properties every year for 13 years straight and still manage to take off weekends and I answer my phone before 9 or after 6 and all these systems. I want to touch on CRM. So our good friend Mike Arias, here we are back in 2009, 2010, and he comes into my office and he sits down with me and he's always looking sharp. And I had some REOs, so I actually had some sort of income, which was nice. And I asked him, Mike, I see that you work with these top agents, the Carolyn McNamara's, so on and so forth. What is it that they're doing different than me? And this is what he said. The difference between amateurs and professionals is the database, the CRM. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
So how does your CRM look or how do you operate? Can you give a little glimpse into, maybe it's a brand new LO who's watching this and going, okay, CRM, I don't even know what that means. Let's just say it's customer relations management tool, also known as a database. How should they manage their CRM?
I put every lead that you have. If you're just like starting in this business,
brand new.
I would, first of all, the first thing I did is I added every family member I had because you gotta hit family, right?
Even your family?
Heck yeah! Drip on all those people. Make sure I'm top of mind. Anybody that you've worked with, anybody that you know, any of your contacts in your phone, and then every new lead that you get in, make sure you add that in there. No matter what. I've had a lead that I maybe pre-approved 4 years ago. I was still dripping on them. They call me back and they're like, I'm ready to buy now finally, Sam. Let's get on that. It happens all the time. Most people just fail in doing the small details, and like data entry for some reason really bothers them. But these CRMs are so automated now. It's easy peasy just to take your lead, pop it in there, and then you automatically have your campaign set up like, hey, how's it going? Do you need to chat? Do we need to update your approval? Like I have several different campaigns, but spending that time on making sure that CRM is dialed is money.
Yeah, so you're making sure you put everybody in there. By the way, my brother is in my CRM.
Yeah, of course, right?
If If I know
My
you,
Starbucks barista is in mine. Why not? She might have a family or friend member,
you never know.
You never know.
You just never know. Okay, so you're putting everybody in your CRM, and then you have what, drip emails, maybe drip text messages.
Drip text, drip emails, and then postcards go out seasonally with like a recipe. I send out calendars. In the fall, I'll send out like gift cards to Starbucks, just different things like that.
Perfect. That's something similar that I do is I send out a market update via email every single month to everybody in my CRM. I call them once every quarter. I mail them something once every quarter. I send them out the magnet calendars at the end of the year, which it still surprises me.
I just love it.
And so listen, here's the story. I get these handwritten notes from these sweet old ladies that have never transacted with me, and they'll usually write me in October and say, hey, Derek, please make sure I'm on your mailing list to get your calendar. And I'm like, how sweet are they?
They're so cute.
But this is the thing, too, is a lot of times when I go on a listing appointment or a consultation, my calendar's on the fridge. It's like $1 investment or $1.50, whatever it is, but it yields a lot of return in combination with the compounding effect of all the other follow-up that I'm doing.
Right.
And that's the big thing that I see with real estate agents, Sam, is they're always trying to chase the next deal, and they focus on who's ready to buy or sell now, and they don't realize that they're never going to get consistency, and they're never going to be able to have any explosive growth in their business until they start nurturing the people. Because this is what happens: is I look at them all like they're popcorn. They're all just hard kernels
just sitting there ready to pop.
They're ready to pop.
Yeah, that's good.
I've got to help them pop. So what happens is I get a lead. Okay, let's just say this person wants to list their house right now. Great. They're ready to transact right now. I get another lead. They're not ready. Okay, well, they go on my CRM. And then after I have enough of those people in there with my follow-up systems, they start popping out consistently. So I may close whatever it is, X amount of deals from people that are ready to transact right now. But then the equal or larger amount could have been people that I nurtured. So do LOs have that same struggle of like focusing on who's ready to buy right now?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think they just focus on who they pre-approved and like watching that versus looking at all those other leads that they need to touch too and nurture, because we should, every person we come in contact with that's applying is like an opportunity for a transaction, and that one transaction could turn into lifetimes of transactions. So you have to, it's a numbers game for all of us at any point. And so you have to pay attention to everything, not just the current ones, the ones that are coming up, or maybe an agent called you or me and said, oh, they're not ready yet. And I'm like, well, why don't you let me just reach out to them? Let's just get them going so that I can put them in my database, put in my notes what agent referred them, and I can help nurture that for the agents also.
So this is what blows my mind. I was speaking to some people that I don't own this company I was speaking to, and I was talking to them, and we're talking about the same exact thing, putting everybody in your CRM and then following up. And then I asked them, raise your hand if you do this. There was like one person that raised her hand, and it was a lady, and she was the top producer. And I'm like, okay. So I picked a guy out in the crowd, and I said, why aren't you doing all the follow-up that you know you should do? And he goes, I'm lazy. And I said, I don't think you're lazy. I said, I think it's because salespeople don't recognize how important the little steps are. All they see is Sam. They go, wow, she's this top 1% LO in the nation. She must have some miraculous stuff that she does. And I guarantee you she does do miraculous stuff. But it's the little things that you do.
Yeah. It's time consuming. This is like a full-time and a half job for me. But I'm just crazy that way, and I like to work. Everybody tells me they don't want me working that much, but I can't help it. I like it. But all of those little teeny things have to still be in play every single day if you want to get to that level.
Yeah, it's a compounding effect of little actions that feel. We just talked about the difference between urgency and importance.
Yes.
Putting someone in your database is extremely important. The little follow-up, drip campaigns or whatever other follow-up you do is so more valuable than you have any idea. The problem is the LOs and agents, they probably quit doing those things consistently before they start reaping the rewards. Because I know once I started closing whatever, I don't know, probably around 5 to 10 deals a month, I started realizing, wow, this little follow-up is the magic.
It is. It's a secret to the sauce.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It totally is. That's interesting. Let me ask you this. Let's just say that, I want to talk a little bit about the mental aspect, because when I have private conversations with real estate agents and they're honest with me, you get more information than you do on the surface. And there's a lot of comparison, inevitably, by human beings, right? There's always somebody who's fitter, better looking, more money, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like probably LOs and real estate agents, because they're human beings, look at a top producer like you and go, gosh, I only am doing whatever it is, 50, 100 transactions, 200 transactions a year. I'm such a failure. And they beat themselves up trying to compare themselves to a top producer. And the interesting thing is, Sam, is that when I ask them, well, why do you want to do, let's say it's 300 loans a year, or why do you want to do 80 real estate sales a year? They don't really have a reason. Oh, I want more money, or I want whatever it is. It's not like a real why to where you go, wow, that's really connected to a deep goal or a thing.
Right.
So if somebody is watching this right now and they go, you know what, guilty, I do that, I compare myself to other people, and it doesn't motivate me to be better, it actually makes me feel like a loser and goes maybe towards depression. What advice would you give to that person?
I would say everybody, stay in your own lane. Why do you think racehorses have blinders? Don't compare yourself to anybody. Create your own business for yourself. If you give back all of that to yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You're going to succeed no matter what, because your energy is focused exactly on your client, your referral partners, your life, your family, your marriage, your kids. Just don't get distracted by things that honestly have nothing to do with you or them, because if you're looking at not having a why and you just want to be the top producer and do 300 deals, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes behind that production is sometimes not even worth it. I know that I've been there and I've done that. I'm like, I look back and it's like how exhausting. But it was a goal for me to just do that for myself, but it's also like I think about a lot of things that I missed also. So keep your balance and just stay in your own lane, and it's going to work out for you. But never ever take somebody else's be feeling competitive or less than for what somebody else is doing, because I think everybody has the same opportunity, if that makes sense. Yeah,
and so let's talk about this, which is, like I said, I'll ask people, well, why do you want to sell this many homes? And they give some generic reason. You need to really identify really what you want. You don't want a Lamborghini just because it's a symbol of success or because successful people have a Lamborghini. You should want a Lamborghini because it's a badass car and it sounds like a freaking symphony coming out of the engine. That's why you should want it. But you need to have a deep-rooted feeling. So I've had people ask me, okay, Derek, you've made millions of dollars. You know, why are you still going? And for me, I'm very transparent. I went through lost my dad in the 8th grade. We lost everything, our house, our cars, didn't have a car. And as I struggled as a kid and was made fun of because I didn't have nice clothes or holes in my shoes or whatever, I was hurt so bad, Sam, that I made a decision then that, number one, I'm going to get myself out of this. And number two, my kids are going to be in a position where they're never, ever going to know what it's like to be living in poverty.
Right.
Why are you still pushing? What is making Sam tick? What do you have to prove?
I think it's just more of, I want to prove to myself that I can do this all on my own, and then I want to have my kids be proud, I think that's my driving force. And I want to make sure that I can help them. I can make sure that I can give them, showing them my dedication to my business and how hard I work. There's no excuses for them. There is no excuses. You can be a mom. You can have a full-time successful career. You can do whatever you want. The sky is the limit. But there has to be boundaries and balances and everything that they need to see to be successful people. And I want to be set up to where when they start investing in their futures, I can help them, just like my parents have helped me. So that is the most important thing for me. That's my driving force.
I love that. So let me ask you how this makes you feel, Sam. Let's just go ahead and fast forward and, Mac's 30 and the other kids are older. And let's just say that you're together. Let's just say it's South Dakota just because we love the Black Hills.
Oh, yes.
So let's just say you're there. And
hopefully I live there by then,
okay.
Right?
So you're living there, all of your kids are there, and you're all having a great time, and your kids all start to share with you, what a positive impact you have had and how your work ethic has inspired them to create a life that brings happiness to them. How does that make you feel?
That would be my biggest accomplishment. I nailed it. I could die that day. That'd be it.
That's success.
That's it. Yeah.
So to the viewer, if whatever you're chasing doesn't give you that feeling that Sam, just articulated, why are you really chasing it? You need to identify, because I feel like until real estate agents and LOs and other salespeople or business people can identify their why, it's like, why keep going?
Because someone said I should be a real estate agent. But why do you want to be a real estate agent? I would say I'm a salesperson. I like people. I'm in my job because I like helping people and I love being here. So that's my driving force also. You can't give 150% to something that you're not into.
Yeah.
To go off your point. So if you're not into this or whatever it is, you should really dig deep and figure it out, like what really lights your fire.
Yeah, or find something that does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not real estate. Maybe it's not being a loan officer.
Exactly.
Potential is another thing. So check this out. This was, let's say 8 years ago. I'm making a $250,000 a year. I'm golfing legitimately 4 days every single week, right? I'm working probably 20 hours a week making a $250,000. I thought I was doing really great. I come across YouTube, this guy called Grant Cardone. And he's a cocky son of a bitch.
He totally is.
And I
like his stuff.
I totally hated on him. I'm like, this freaking guy, who does he think he is? I skipped his video. Anyways, I see it a couple more times, and then I stop and I listen to the speech that he gave. I remember he was on stage, and for whatever reason, I had one of those moments in life where I had clarity. And the message I got from Grant Cardone was, what is your potential? Not what does your mom say, oh, you're doing good, take it easy, don't work so hard, or the other people in your life, they all meaning well. But really, what is your potential? And I took that, and I looked in the mirror, and I went, okay, Derek, you're a poor kid from Phelan, right? And now you're making a $250,000 a year golfing, which is what I wanted to do. Maybe this isn't as far as I can go. I wonder what my potential is in this real estate game. And then I just literally shot under par for the first time in golf, which is a big deal if you golf. And then I quit like a week later and never picked up a club for 7 years. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how far my potential can take me. And my business just started exploding. So have you ever consciously thought about that? Like, what is your potential?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, in 2009, this business was like so bad. It was so bad and like devastating. People losing their houses.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
It was just the short sales and everything. I mean, I literally, that summer, I honestly was like, I think I'm done. I think I'm just going to be done. I'm not going to do loans anymore. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't think it's working. Like, I'm not getting any further, and the business is getting more stressful. I literally put that in there, and I was like, I think I'm going to go back to night school and maybe do court reporting, or go back to law school, because that's really what I was supposed to be going to do. And then something just changed in a weird way. It wasn't the potential talk to myself in the mirror, but it was like the moment that I let it go, because I was holding all that stress of what I wasn't doing right, my business literally started doubling. It was like
what do you mean you let it go? What does that mean?
I think I was holding so much pressure on myself, thinking that I should have been doing so much more than I was. So I felt like I was failing myself. So when I was like, maybe this is just not for you, Sam. Maybe this is you got to look at what you want to do with the rest of your life. And I think once I let it go to the universe and took that stress off myself, I was more at ease with my clients, my agents. It was the weirdest thing. It was like an epiphany. And my business literally started doubling from that moment on.
Wow. So you're one of the top lenders in the nation, and you were leaving the business.
Mm-hmm. I really was.
And when you say let it go, do you really explain to me, does that mean like, I'm just going to work what I'm working and whatever happens? Like, is that?
I was doing all the down payment assistance programs, the HUD $100 down ones, always difficult clients, always difficult borrowers. It was just, the stress was like, it was truly, I wasn't saying no to the deals that I should have been saying no to because I'm too nice. So I would be helping people that wouldn't help themselves. So that stress was coming home with me, my kids, everything. And I was just like, I can't do this. This is so bad. I just can't do that. So once I did that, and I was like, no, when they call me for that manufactured home that's not on a permanent foundation, that's for $85,000, I'm going to, if they don't absolutely qualify for it, I'm just going to move on from the lead. And once that's the part that once I let that go and started paying attention to more quality over quantity, it's when actually my business started to take off. But yeah, I was at that moment. I almost left in 2009. Yeah.
How many times do people put in more effort than they should in a relationship where the other person doesn't reciprocate?
Yeah.
Or how many times does a salesperson work with a client that they know is a complete pain in the ass or isn't willing to provide their pay stubs or run their credit?
Yes.
It's like, I'm not going to do all this work if you're not willing to help yourself. But we do that.
Oh, all the time.
I used to do it too.
Yeah.
I would drive a borrower around and really they were just kind of interested in buying a house.
Yes.
They weren't committed to buying a house.
Exactly. And then so they're sucking up all of my time for nothing. So the stress was just mounting and these people were just, yeah. And so I think just once I just threw it out there, like, give me a sign, God, please. And then I think, he was like, you need to say no.
Wow.
Don't have to be the nicest person. And that's when my business really started to take off.
Wow. So saying no to opportunities or saying no to leads. And for someone that's like scared to do that, they're like, gosh, well, that scares me, Sam, because I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a big portfolio. It's easy for you to say as a top lender in the nation, well, just say no. What would you say to that person right now? I
would just say make sure that they're, that our time is money. It truly is. Make sure they're not taking advantage of you, because there are a lot of people that do. There's agents that take advantage of my time. There's buyers that take advantage of my time. There's buyers that take advantage of the real estate agent's time. Make sure they're committed, and you'll get better with your script on asking the questions like, when are you going to buy? Don't show them 55 houses and they're not pre-approved, and they keep, that's number one red sign there. Why aren't you pre-approved? These people, we shouldn't be going in people's homes unless you're actually have the checkbook ready to write the check, which means have your financing set up. And that will alleviate stress from you also, because you can be really kind and sweet and just say, I just don't think you're really ready at this time. So we're just gonna hold off for a bit until you get X, Y, and Z done, and then we'll revisit showing properties. That's what I would say, but just watch out for the time suckers. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times we will continue to invest time into a relationship or into a client out of a fear mindset or out of a poverty mindset, instead of saying, you know what, I have value. My time is valuable. When I'm spending time showing this borrower homes that isn't pre-approved, that's time away from my kids, or time away from my spouse, or time away from whatever makes me happy.
Or time away from, there might be a lead that's over here hanging out that's really ready to go, and this person is absorbing all of your time. That's where you're failing.
Wow. What you just said, I hope everybody picked up on that. Guys, the time that you're spending with the lead that is never going to transact is keeping you from the lead that's begging to transact.
Yes. So don't be scared that this is your only deal. It is never your only deal. It is never. There's one little person over here that's perfect. Gold star buyer, ready to go. Just needs a little love and comfort and get them out the door.
Yeah, a lot of the times with my agents, I talk to them about asking the hard questions. A lot of times agents are afraid to ask a buyer, are you pre-approved? Well, gosh, and they're thinking, I don't want to show you homes until you get pre-approved because I don't even know if you qualify.
Yeah.
And agents will continue showing and tell them, say, you have to ask the hard questions. You are doing that client a disservice. You're doing the seller of the home that you're going to do a disservice. You're doing your family and your business a disservice. Ask the hard questions. If you don't have the confidence to ask the hard questions, you're going to pay a price, and the price is going to be lost time.
Absolutely. And you might have missed out on a lead by not asking the hard questions, because somebody maybe walked into the office while you were showing that person that's not approved another house. But you have to. And it's something, as soon as you get comfortable doing it, it shows you as a true professional. And you can explain why. There's a lot of sellers in different price ranges that are not even going to allow you to open that door without seeing that pre-approval letter. I go, blame it on the seller and the lender. And then that will drive the buyer to get pre-approved and be more serious about wasting your guys' time.
100%. Yeah, I tell my agents, say, hey, if you're going to show a buyer a home, let them know that as a realtor and as a member of the board, you are required to show homes to pre-approved buyers.
Yes.
It's like if you're too afraid to tell your buyer, which they're not even really a buyer, they're a time waster. If you're too afraid to tell them, hey, listen, I'm not going to show you homes until you get pre-approved,
Right.
or I'm not going to show you any more homes. Maybe you go out and you show them one, get to meet them, see if you want to work with them. If you decide, I like these people, I want to work with them. Just have an honest conversation. Hey, I really like you. I'm willing to commit to you. Are you willing to commit to me as your agent? You are? Okay, great. The next step is I'm going to put you in contact with Sam at Vantage Funding, and she's going to get you pre-approved. She's going to go over all the different loan products. You have to have that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
So talking about loan products, what type of loan products are out there for buyers right now?
We have several different, of course, FHA, VA, conventional. We do have some non-QM products for anybody that can't qualify based on income for investment properties, where we can use rents to offset. The number one thing I think is the best thing right now is down payment assistance. We have the NPHS 40% down payment in the outlined areas of San Bernardino County. Those are really strategic for lower income families because it's such a large down payment. But I've already funded a couple, which has really helped out a lot of blessed families that would not be able to afford housing right now. Cal HAFA, of course, their down payment assistance.
Let's go back to that last one you talked about. In layman terms, what's the benefit of that? You said 40% something. What is it?
It's a 40% down payment. So think of
they have to put down 40%?
No, you're getting 40% from San Bernardino County.
Oh, wow.
For very low income families, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so those people are gonna not have mortgage insurance, obviously, of course. They're getting a 40% down payment from the program, which it helps out a lot. That really gets people into housing, which we have a need for getting people into homes that don't have a lot of money with the rates so high. The affordability is not there. So that person that qualified for $150,000, if they qualify for the MPHS program, adding on that 40%, gets us up to like $210,000, which is great. We can find some properties, Lucerne, Barstow, Boron. I mean, there is still some housing out there.
So when that MPH program, the Vantage Funding offers, where you get 40% of the down payment from the County of San Bernardino, when do they pay that back?
So you have 30 years to pay it back. There is an equity share portion of it, but most of these families you don't make any payments on it, are gonna use keep this mortgage in that.
You don't make any payments on it?
Not on the 40% down payment assistance. No, you do not. You just have to pay it back in a portion of the equity share.
Wow. So really what we're talking about with these type of borrowers is somebody that either has the option to never buy a home and capture no equity.
Yes.
Or buy a home, capture equity, and give a percentage back to the county that gave you 40%.
Yes, because
that's like a no-brainer.
They still have to make money on the money they're giving you
Of
for up
course.
to 30 years. Yeah, it is a no-brainer. It's a great program.
Wow. What about, is there still like a zero down in rural areas or no?
Yes, USDA is available all over the state of California, all over the United States, actually. We just have to check the property eligibility. It's anything that's in the county areas. Like, you can't buy in the city there, but for us here, it's Oak Hills, Phelan, Lucerne, outskirts of Hesperia, the rural areas of Apple Valley, like the Marianas. All of Adelanto is considered rural, so any property there will qualify for USDA.
Wow. USDA loan in those areas, you're zero down.
Zero down. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great programs out there.
Very cool. So with the real estate market and interest rates, what are rates roughly today? Just give me some sort of a ballpark.
For
let's say 30-year fixed or whatever category you want to give.
30-year fixed FHA, because I just posted this morning, so I know. You're looking at 6.75. Conventional 5% down. You're looking at 7.625. VA was right at six and a quarter for a 30-year fix. These are all based on like a 660 FICO score. Of course, anything that would vary from that or property types. If it's manufactured homes, rates tend to be a little bit higher. So the market looks really good today. So hopefully we're easing into a better area of maybe getting some break this fall with the rates.
Do you think that as we get closer to the next presidential election, that rates are going to come down, go up, or stay flat? What's your personal opinion?
I feel like they're gonna find a way to pump money into the bond market to drop the rates to buy the election.
Wow. And what's going to happen if before the next presidential election the interest rates go down? What's going to happen to home values?
Home values are going to increase because we still don't have enough homes.
So the borrowers that are sitting on the sidelines right now that say, I don't want to have a rate at 6.75, I'm going to wait until rates come down. What do you think about that strategy?
Okay, but okay. So say you get 4.5%, but the house is now $100,000 more. Did you win?
Nope.
Because what you could have do is bought at 6.75, then the rates drop, you just refi.
Yeah, so people that are run across in my sphere will ask me, hey Derek, is it a good time to buy? And I said, I would buy right now.
I would buy. If the juice is worth the squeeze, buy.
Yeah.
Rates always will come down, and you can refinance very easily. It's not hard.
Yeah, what I tell people is buy a house if you can afford it at the current payment, at the current rate. Don't buy something saying, I know I qualify, but I'm going to be house poor. I really don't want to do that, but I'll just bet on rates going down next year. I would say don't bet on that as a real estate professional. I would say if rates come down, which they likely will, but if they do, hallelujah, great. But make sure first you're in a property you want and something that you can really afford. That's number one.
Correct.
Yeah, I was up in Big Bear this weekend looking at
I saw that house.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
That house is in an area called Castle Glen in Big Bear, and that house has the most amazing views of all of the lake. It's like off the back deck you've got lake, and then as the lake wraps around the house, the whole porch wraps around too. It's 1.5 million, and yeah. So like I said, I'm looking to buy real estate right now, so I would not have any hesitation of giving a borrower advice to buy.
Yeah.
So I love those mountains.
That was I do.
It was a nice one. It's a nice one. So we'll see what happens with it. But I got the financials from the listing agent on the Airbnb.
Oh yeah.
And man, they look really bad, not good. So from 2021 to 2022, that house has seen a 17% reduction in income in 1 year.
Oh, I bet.
And then from 22 to 23, the owner won't provide the financials of 23. And I'm thinking, Jill and I were talking. I'm like, that's because the income's dropping. That's because the short-term rental market had a major boom in COVID.
Yes, we know that.
People were making $100,000 a year on a house, and now I'm sure you know the inventory levels up there. The inventory levels are coming up. So I'm not in a rush to buy. If I can get something I want, then the numbers make sense. I will buy. But for a vacation house, I don't have to buy. But I definitely want to get up there.
Yeah, it's great. And it's only 45 minutes.
It's so great.
That's the best part.
I know. We went to that Tropicana.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Tropicali. Was it good?
Yeah, Tropicali. Yeah, I didn't know. The number one ranked restaurant in the nation is here in Big Bear, Tropicali. You been there?
Yes, I have.
What'd you get?
I got the Poke Bowl.
So good. So it was me and Jill's first time. We walk in there. The customer service level, I don't know if it was like that when you went there, it was over the top.
Oh,
yeah. Welcome! And
they're like selling it for sure. It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference that customer service will make in a business because the employees at Tropicali were so great and so welcoming and so fun, it literally lifted my spirit up. I was kind of like, I just got done showing that house and I was kind of in a place of calculating numbers and feeling some stress of this new financial potential obligation with a vacation home. And they just kind of just lifted everything and gave me some great food. And they asked me for my name, and I like to give different names. So if you ever go to like the Starbucks or whatever with me, so the name I gave him there was Steele. I'm like, Steele, like what a great name.
I love it. Yeah, that's so good.
I love the name Steele. So then my order's ready, and they have a speaker. Jill and I are sitting outside in the sun. It's like 74 degrees, beautiful. And they're like, Captain Steele, your meal just washed ashore.
That's so good.
It was so awesome.
Oh my gosh, I just gave my regular name, but I'm going to try that next time.
Yeah, I like to mix things up, have some fun. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's so many great little restaurants and shops up there. It's a great little escape, Big Bear is. And it's only 2 hours from LA, obviously 45 minutes to an hour from us, depending on where you are. And it's just...
Yeah, I make it up there from where we're at in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's a great place. But yeah, I think that the short-term rentals, I think that market is adjusting. I was talking to the Chicago title rep up there. Gosh, I forget her name. I'm sorry. But I was asking her thoughts, and I think that market is going to cool down. The thing that's going to protect that market, I think, is the fact that it is a smaller city. It is literally a freaking lake in the middle of beautiful mountains, a ski resort with 2 mountains.
Yes.
Only 2 hours from LA. So I don't ever anticipate that market going back anywhere remotely close to where it was in 2009, 2010.
No, I don't think
It's
so
just
either.
not going to happen. We would have to have like the next Great Depression. And a lot of buyers are kind of waiting for that. Well, I'm going to wait for the crash. It's like, okay. I thought the market was crashing in 2018. Here we are in 2023, and the values have gone up tremendously.
Yeah.
200, 300% or whatever freaking number it is. So it's like, I've just made a decision that I'm no longer going to try to time the market, including with my investments. I'm going to buy stuff that makes sense for me. If it makes sense, then it makes sense. And if the market falls out and I lose my equity, I'm still happy with my product. I'm
Yep.
still happy with my payment.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I think it comes down to. What else do you want to talk to these people about?
Oh, I don't know. What should we talk about?
I don't know. I think that's probably a good way to end it here. I feel like we covered. Hopefully, we gave some good value to the people watching. And Vantage funding. If are you in California only right now, or?
I am in California only. I'm getting all my licensing for the rest of the states. I just have to do a couple tests and start transferring all of that over because I was under the previous is blanketed for that. So just in the next couple months, and then I'll be able to do all the states. So that will be great.
Very cool. And if somebody's never bought a house and they're wondering, well, gosh, what does it cost me to get pre-approved? What does that look like? What's the time frame and how much does it cost if someone wants to get pre-approved?
There is no cost to get pre-approved, and it takes, you can either do my online application or call me. We could chat over the phone, come in and sit down. We could do it in person. I like to have all of my pre-approvals done within 24 hours so that you're already out shopping. I mean, obviously, if I have the time, I literally could do it same day too, as well.
Gotcha. And how can somebody get a hold of you or
The best way is to text me, 760-217-9687. Also, I think you'll put a link on here of my online application, which is also my business card. And then I look forward to hearing from anybody that's looking for financing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if anybody has any real estate needs in Southern California, reach out to my organization, Realty One Group Empire, and we would love to help you. And if you're a real estate agent that's watching this, whether you're in my organization or not in my organization, if you're at a brokerage or if you're at a different state or whatever it is, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help you. I have no sales program to sell you. I have nothing to gain. I just want to help other real estate agents find success and happiness and structure and systems in their life. So you can feel free to reach out to me. So.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Thanks for having me.
Good job, girl.
Thank you. All right.
That was fun.
Yeah.